Sometimes I wish I could be exactly who and what you're looking for, but sometimes what we want in life is not exactly in the cards the way we want it to be. It's like this, you want a man to love you, you, only you. I tell you the truth every time you come through. I'm looking for a friend, you looking for a husband. You want full time, listen, we just bunting. You really want him, I'm cool with that, but change up the plans as soon as we smash. Plus he got the cash, and he got the house. Forget the small talk, yo, I'm about to be out. Word.
Well, I've been depressed.
And what else?
And I've been unmotivated. And I can't stop being a floozy. Well, I've been depressed.
What else?
And I've been unmotivated. And I can't stop being a floozy.
Look, I ain't listening to no hollering. Shut up and get the swallowing. That misery you wallowing, just not my fucking problem, huh? Don't care how much you cheated, I'm only here to beat it. Plus your attitude's the worst. I can't blame that dude for leaving. Girl, I'm just a floozy, out here chasing coochie. A dog like Goofy, Scooby, or Snoopy. Don't care about your breakup or how he used to take stuff. Just let me dick that face up and don't be here when I wake up. Word.
Well, I've been depressed.
And what else?
And I've been unmotivated. And I can't stop being a floozy. Well, I've been depressed.
What else?
And I've been unmotivated. And I can't stop being a floozy.
You don't think I should?
No.
It's only gonna be alright, what could I be in the jacuzzi with 4 women?
You can't be in a jacuzzi with nobody.
Yep. We're going live tonight. This is Ralph Renna, Capital Underground, face to face. Things happen so quickly in the local music scene that we have to kind of fly by the seat of our pants. And we were scheduled to have Sean Reid come on the show, DJ 250, a few weeks ago. And unfortunately, he suffered a serious loss. He lost his dad. And I think we've been talking a little bit more. I lost my dad last year, and I think we've been seeing each other out at events. So I know this dude, and he probably would have went live that night. He had to take a little time. I said, yo, take your time. We'll do it. So what we did was, out of courtesy of Johnny Morse coming on with Livewire on Nippertown tonight, we moved our show to Tuesday night, which we'll go back, bounce around. We really don't have a set time. And then, as we're just testing this shit out, dude gets a phone call, and like that, he's working tomorrow night. So here we are live. How you doing, buddy?
The seam of our pants, baby. The seam of our pants.
We're hanging on a thread of the seam of our pants.
Yes, sir.
So you got the gig, and here we are. We're live. If you're seeing this video in the local music community, I don't care what genre of music you play, because we have a lot to talk about. And it's not all about hip-hop and DJing for Sean Reid. It's all about supporting a local music community. We have a lot to talk about, so please share the video, and we're going to talk for a little while. It's kind of odd for us to go on at prime time. You know, what are we going to? Is there any good TV shows you're missing right now, Sean?
Nah, it's us. We are the TV show.
We are the TV show.
This is the show right here.
This is the show. That's
Renna
right.
Reid.
Depressed, unmotivated floozies.
Okay.
That's the latest project from Sean Reid. We're going to get into many things. So we're going to start current on this. This happens. You collaborate a lot with people, and you're sending me over music. Tell us about this depressed, unmotivated floozies.
All right. So I'm going to tell you how the name came about, right?
Yeah, do it.
So me and my man Flip, we talk every day. Like, we both been working on music for like 20, 30 years apiece. And we should actually tape every conversation, because for 3 or 4 hours is hilarious, right?
Right.
So we'll come up with a certain phrase like, So how this came about, right? I was a couple of years ago. I was dating this girl out in Saratoga, right?
It always comes down to a girl. Go ahead. I have a feeling
yo, hey,
this ain't going to
listen,
be the only fucking time you bring that up today.
yeah, I have a lot of women trouble, but listen,
Oh, good. I'm
car
going to write
trouble,
that down.
women
Woman
trouble,
trouble.
car trouble, women trouble. You know how it goes.
Women car trouble. We're going to get into that. Go ahead.
So what happened was we was dating a while back, a couple of years ago, whatever. And what ended up happening was we had broke up, and sometimes you still friends with women you or whoever you used to date. And I was like, yo, what happened with us? She was like, well, you was just depressed and unmotivated. I was like, yo, I'm an entrepreneur. That's not even close to the same thing.
What?
So I let her say what she was gonna say, because she's a like manager at Walmart, and you know how when chicks got jobs, they try to act like they like
Right. If she was motivated, she'd be managing Boscovs.
Yo, but she felt, but you have to understand, people that are not entrepreneurs don't understand how entrepreneur works.
Right.
They just used to going to a regular job every day,
Right.
clocking in and clocking out. With where for some of us, it's one of those things like when the work is there, it's feast or famine. You gotta get the work while it's there.
Yep.
So I told my boy, I told him the story. He was like, I'm like, yo, what you doing today? I'm just depressed and unmotivated. So that was one of the lines that he kept, right?
Right.
So then a couple of like some months ago, I had went on a date with this other chick, right?
Oh, now it comes down to you got a lot of dates.
There's only two.
How many dates do you go on a month?
Don't do that.
All right. Anything goes. I thought.
I don't. Wait. It's not that I go on. It's not that I go on a lot of dates. It's just one of those things that at this age, like I'm 46, so it's one of those like I don't have like 10 years to waste. And you know how all of that goes.
No, I hear you. I've been 13, 14 years now with my woman, so I don't know. I'd be lost in the dating game right now. I'd be lost at 52 years old.
Yeah, it's one of those like you'll be like, yo, babe, we got to get back together. So check it. So what happened? What happened with this girl was, I was like, yo, what you doing tomorrow? She's like, oh, I'm probably just gonna be watching movies with my cat. I was like, and I just gave her a look, and she was like, I don't want you to think I'm a floozy. I was like, a floozy? I haven't heard that word since
unmotivated.
Yeah. So
floozies.
my man Flip said, yo, that's it. Depressed, unmotivated floozy.
Where's Flip? I like this name. I like his name already.
We got to get Flip in. You might have met Flip before. He was the resident DJ at Blue 82 for
okay.
10, 15 years.
Maybe.
You definitely got to get him on the show. He's super hilarious. He's supposed to be doing stand up, but everybody don't want to do stand up. It's not everybody's thing. Some people are just like super hilarious just in general. So we basically did a comedy project where we both been doing music for so long, so right. it's just coming up with the concept. Same thing with me and you, but you don't be having quality time for me, but it's all good.
Oh, here we go. I'll come to your house, he says. I'm like, oh yeah, you can come here, but I don't know when I got time. I admire your drive, and I think that's what made us friends too. Is that you're kind of like me. You're kind of like me. We're both kind of in different scenes, but we support all of it, and that's kind of where we became friends through music. So let's start and let's go back. We'll get back more into this, but I like the tune. We played it on Capitol Underground. Depressed, unmotivated individuals. One of the many things that Sean Reid, DJ 250, does. Let's go back.
Okay.
We're going to go way back, okay, because you're from Schenectady now, but that's not where it all started. It all started here. And you told me that you were born and raised in the Bronx. Now, how many people does New York City have in it now, let alone then?
There's
millions.
There's
funny? Millions. Look at that map. Look at the boroughs.
It's super small at the bottom. That little L at the bottom is Bronx. Manhattan. It's sort of like up here where going from the Bronx into Manhattan is like going from Schenectady to Albany, where it's just
Right.
connected by like the concourse.
But just with
But
the 10 million more people, right?
yeah.
Right.
Going down there, like they actually stacked more buildings on top of buildings, and
Right.
it's
It just keeps going higher. There's nowhere to spread out. Kind of. There's no.
yeah.
We
That's
got a
why
lot of
people are
country.
moving. A lot of people are moving down south
Right.
between up here, just kind of getting out that city.
So you're 46 years old. You were born and raised in the Bronx.
I was born in Harlem,
In
but
Harlem, okay, and you kind
but
of
I
grew
moved
up in
to
the
the Bronx
Bronx.
at like
Gotcha.
3. Yeah.
All right, so let's start at age whatever the fuck it was that you remember music. It's like this is something I want to be a.
do.
No, you were probably like 3 years old, and the teacher was like, "Sean, Reid, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And you're like, "I want to be an entrepreneur," and they were just like blown back, right? All right, so what was your
No.
first inspiration for music? Was it DJing? Was it hip hop? Was it rock and roll? What was it that got you into what you're doing, all the things you're doing today?
I started.
And how
rapping at
old were
8.
you when it started?
I started everything at 13. 13 was the
13?
age.
You just didn't do anything from 1 to 13.
I mean, well, I became a single mother at 7 because my mother had twins, so I had to help her raise the twins.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about family first. Let's talk about family. Go ahead.
Cooking and some cleaning from like 7 to like maybe like 15. Went to the group home for a little bit. That was a little rough, made me a little rougher. I actually appreciate it now that I'm a little older, but
it hardens you, and it definitely shows you, like I'll admit it, I went to jail before. I went to jail. I was hooked on drugs, man, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me because now it straightened my ass out. So yeah, at an early age, you learned your lesson. Me, it was more in my 30s. So
it wasn't even really a lesson. I didn't even do nothing.
Did.
No, listen, to go to a group home, like you and your parent might not get along, so that don't mean that you actually had to do something to be in a group home. If you and your mom don't get along, or your dad or whoever you live with growing up, and you know how kids are, they get a couple of hair on their nuts or whatever, they think they grown. At 13, you think you grown. You know how it goes.
I think that I'm not going to say I can agree. And I'm serious, dead serious. You're smiling. I grew up in upstate New York. You grew up in Harlem in the Bronx in a different time. You grew up with different family situations. So no, I don't mean to make fun of it and say, sure you did. But yeah, you're right. You learn early, and maybe situations weren't like me. I got in trouble and I deserved it. Maybe you didn't deserve
I was
that.
I was always a good kid, but like I said, it was good for me because it's one of those things, like it hardened me up in certain areas.
Yep.
Where it's like, at the time you might not really see it, but as you got older, as far as like my temper is kind of different because of what I went through. So
were you a hot-headed child?
Nah.
No?
I am how I am now, but
Right.
it's one of those things, like I'm smiling and joking, but don't push me to. Don't push. If you push anybody, you don't know what you're gonna get. It's one of those things. Like,
yeah, and that's with anybody though, man.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So I've always been a real laid back, cool dude, but it's one of those things.
Cool
like,
dude.
Cool dude. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a cool dude. No, I like
I'm
that.
always
I like
smiling.
That.
I'm always in a good space, but if I'm in a bad space, that's not a good space.
All right, so let's take it to 13 years old. Boom. Now you know, what did you want to be, and what was it that did that?
Well, you got to remember, like, growing up in the Bronx, everything was there. So even though hip hop was just kind of growing, it wasn't an established music. A lot of the artists like lived in the area, as far as like Grandmaster Flash, Melly Mel, Grand Wizard Theodore. They were like neighbors that you would see, where a lot of them didn't get the credit that they deserved until years later. And it's one of those things, like some of them didn't reap the financial benefits of what music became.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what led us, when we'll just fast forward, we were talking earlier about artists like Big Daddy Kane, Dougie Fresh, and Slick Rick, who we both saw 2009-ish. I don't remember. And Northern Lights, we were both at that show. And that's why they're out on tour in their 50s and 60s, because they weren't making the money they deserve. So now they're out there making a few bucks and they're doing it. People want to see them. People like me who come from
our age,
from a hard ass stanky rock and roll background and hardcore and punk and metal, and I love hip hop and I love that era from when it started all the way. I don't know. I kind of fell off the past few years.
Yeah.
Should we go off track? Should we go off track?
What do you mean?
Like today's hip hop.
You know what? It's one of those things like you got to think about how we rate music, right?
Right.
Some of today's hip hop, as far as some of them can really rhyme. So it's one of those things like it's not that it's like the drill music is different, but if you listen to some of the lyrics, some of them can rhyme. Young M.A., she's from Brooklyn, she's nice. Little Baby, he had like if you listen to some of their rhymes,
right,
you're like, oh, okay, he's nice.
It's just maybe a style of a music that's not like
some of it
that we're used to from the 90s. I think it's a different style of music and rap, because there are a lot of great hip hop, R&B, and rap artists out there today.
But you know what today the difference between now and 20 to 30 years ago, now it's just so much. Everybody can record out their house. So now SoundCloud is releasing 100,000 songs a day. Spotify is releasing 100,000 songs a day. So it's one of those things like back in the day, record companies had so much more control. Now you can actually start to build up from your house, so everybody kind of have
and you haven't even never ever hit a fucking stage. We were saying this earlier on the phone because we didn't know we were going to go live tonight, and you said it's so easy today for today. All they got to do is get those numbers on that Spotify, and then maybe a record label is going to take a look at you. And I've been in the studio at 52 years old for 3 weeks recording some new music with the tradition,
baby.
Yeah, and it's going to be a little bit different. Going back to my hard rock and my, not metal, but hard rock, and definitely going to show how the soft side of the tradition. But I'm just taking it back. I'm not jumping the gun and putting it online. I'm going to wait till it's done. But I'm going in the studio. I can record myself at home. I do it all the time. I'm doing it now. I can run a computer, but just to get back in a studio and actually do something is what
it's about the vibe.
It's about the integrity of it too.
Like the conversation that we was having about, send me over the tracks. I'd rather be sitting there eating pizza where we can actually come up with we could come up with an idea from some jokes. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be, I could see a funny picture, because you had some hilarious pictures from since you was a kid.
Oh hell yeah! And what do you mean? Funny how?
No. No, you got some classic.
You find me funny?
Pictures. You're hilarious. You got some classic pictures.
You make me laugh too.
Your facial expressions is like hilarious, and you always had some dogs, and those exactly
right. The mullet, there it is. This is for fuzz. It's actually, he was supposed to get it at King's Inn the other day, which you showed up to. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That's a mega mullet because it's mad fluffy.
Yeah. So Sean gets out, whether it's like I said, a Slick Rick or a Big Daddy Kane show, or back in the day going to check out Stigmata or coming out to see whoever I would see you at odd events. And I'm like, I think you and I don't get pigeonholed. They're like, oh, it's Sean. Oh, it's Ralph. Yeah. They're here. They're part of this. Oh, wait, isn't he from that scene? Yeah, but we're all one. That's where the unity part come in for me,
Yeah, sometimes people like they see me in like even with what I tell people is that promotion is one of the most important things. Yep. So dudes be like, yo, I saw your poster in like Thatcher Park or like somewhere in Vermont, and
right.
I tell people like you're your own business, and if you can promote other businesses like these phone companies and telemarketing, you can do it for yourself, and you have to work to the point where your part-time becomes your full-time, and it's not easy. It takes a long time.
Yeah. DJ 250 Sean Reid is on Facebook. Just look down the bottom at the ticker. We got his addresses up, and he is getting booked quick, so you might want to book him. If you are out there now watching this, share this. If you know Sean and you want to ask a question and something embarrassing, something unembarrassing, it doesn't matter. So speaking of embarrassing, all right, this isn't so embarrassing except for what you made. In 1993, I heard, and I think this may be a rumor. In 1993, you were in a movie and you were an extra, but you actually, extra sometimes it's like
you get it.
You were like, you were there though, right? In a Tupac movie called Above the Rim. And that's awesome.
Yeah, it was dope.
But the fucked up part is it's 1993. You're 17 years old.
Yeah,
and you made still in a group home.
Yep.
And you made $3.85 an hour. You made $40 to work like what, 16 hours? What was it?
12
Holy
hours.
Shit.
Well, it was freezing outside. It was in October.
How did all that happen? Did Tupac come to the group home?
Nah.
I mean, was he in there? I mean, did he actually come invite you guys? How that all go down?
Nah. What happened was, I wanted to be, I wanted to be famous so bad as a kid. So it was one of those things. Like what happened a year before that. I had a chance to do a commercial with Boyz II Men at ABC. And when the commercial aired, it was one of those
things. Wait a minute.
I was super famous on my block for the whole summer.
Wait a minute. You were what about Boyz II Men now? This happened before Tupac?
Yeah.
So what about Boyz II Men? I missed this. You said something Boyz II Men. You were involved in what?
All right. It was a Kiss commercial. It was a Kiss commercial for the radio, and it was
Kiss Radio.
It was Boyz II Men and ABC was in this commercial. And one of the great things about doing commercials and stuff, even though the money is trash, the food is amazing.
So hold on. You were so before you were like getting into all this stuff, you were extra in a movie and you were doing TV commercials. So you wanted to be famous. So was your first thing you were trying to do was like kick off an acting career?
You got to remember, we didn't have social media, so trying to become famous, like I used to go to Geraldo, I used to go to Charles Perez, I used to go to Ricky Lake, because these are like the only places you can go to get any kind of exposure. Like I asked with Dionne Warwick a stupid question, and when you speak in the audience, you get a chance to get your little bit of TV.
So you've had some TV time besides the very famous 2018 Jerry Springer appearance, where you actually danced on the show and did the snake on the floor, right? You were.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you about that. Big shout to Lovey.
Yeah.
What happened?
Lovey.
What you said?
Go ahead. You said shout out to Lovey. Go ahead.
Lovey, yeah. So what happened was she would do these bus trips to Springer, Maury, and Steve Wilkos shows. So what she did was she had hired me to come to do stand up on a bus. The crazy part about the bus is I do a lot more improv than material. So I'm literally on a bus, holding on to the side, going in the opposite direction, trying to come up with improv material while we're in motion. And
wow.
It was
now
hilarious.
You're referring to Lovey, formerly Pix 106. That Lovey,
yes,
is that what we're talking about? Yeah, great woman.
Big shout,
awesome.
She's mad cool.
Yeah,
actually,
absolutely.
She actually really kind of got me into DJing like country parties also. So like years ago, I started to get into that. So you see, I'm doing a Mexican party tomorrow. So
yeah, that was crazy. We're on the phone. We're talking about shit. When are we going to do this? Oh, hang on. I got to take this call. And you said and you're like me. I do the same fucking thing. I answer every phone call. I don't care if
I don't know that exactly.
Yeah, you never know who it's going to be. And I picked it up one day and it was like, hey, how you doing? I'm looking for Ralph Renna. We want you to book a show at the Armory. I'm like, glad I answered that call.
Word, yeah.
You pick up the next call. Hey, we want you to do that. So that happened tonight, a couple hours ago. And I'm like, dude, take the party. Let's just go live later on tonight. We'll wait for Nippertown to finish their thing, and we'll come on later.
See how I asked your permission though? Like
no permission. I get it.
I got so much respect for the Renna. Like it was like you go to hey, Dad, can I go make a sandwich? I know the kitchen closes at 10 p.m., but could I please make a sandwich? So at least I give the courtesy to say, Like, do you mind? And you know
No,
what I
not
mean?
at all. We have a mutual respect for each other. But yeah, you see, this thing, it's not about me. This thing is about us, and it's easy going. It's like, hey, it's a pop-up show. We'll
Yeah,
fit it in when we can. We had some,
we'll
you had
figure
some
it out.
shit going on a few weeks ago. No, we're here now. We're
Yes,
live. We
sir.
made it happen. And he's going to be DJing, and his schedule is getting booked. So what I want to do is I just want to let everybody know, just look down the bottom of the screen for me. If you could look down the bottom of the screen, right? Facebook.com, Sean Reid, DJ 250, and that's spelled out the words. Every other social networking that he has is 250, and he's for hire. There it is. There's the next thing. You're like me, making t-shirts. Show the new t-shirt, and you got some new merch for sale. So let's talk about that.
All right. This right here is the t-shirts. They on sale. They not that expensive. It's kind of. And also I got the stand-up DVD. This right here is a collection of some Albany stand-up, some Vermont. It has
All right, so
some.
you said stand up. We didn't go there yet.
Oh,
Sean,
my
as
fault.
well, and you may have read it. It says it. A DJ. Now that I
Mhm.
found out, a childhood actor. All
A
right, and I
childhood
never knew that
actor.
about you. No, I fucking learning shit tonight, man. I never knew
Okay,
that about you. You're a childhood actor, a
that's
DJ,
hilarious.
a
That's hilarious.
performer, and also a comedian who has done some things. So tell us about the DVD, because now people know
Um.
you're a comedian who are just tuning in with us tonight.
All right. So the reason I call it sort of a comedian is because I don't oversell myself
Sort
with
of.
anything that I do. But because when you say sort of, it's one of those things like you could kind of step out where some people meet you, they like, oh, you're not really that funny, or like they expect you to be funny. So when you say sort of, like if a chick say, yo, you packing, like
Wait a
sort of.
minute. Wait a minute. Someone said you're really not that funny.
No, what I'm saying
And
is
that's why
when
I
you
say I'm sort of a comedian. I'm sort of
yeah,
funny. That's
because
fucked up
like
for someone to say that.
I'm just saying sort of is kind of like the thing about it is everything in life is subjective, right? So it's one of those things like people say, "Oh, Kevin Hart is not funny." The dude is worth over 200 million, so somebody finds him funny. You know what I'm saying? Some people are like, "Oh, it's hard to make me laugh." Listen, I'm not your personal public servant where it's like, what people don't understand about comedy is like
No.
I'm trying to entertain you to be funny to you. If you don't find me funny, then that's all good because
Yeah.
other people are gonna find me funny.
Yeah.
Same thing with being a DJ. Like I'm like, so like say what a prank I like to play on people is they'll make a request and I'll say I don't have it. I know I have it. They'll tell me 2 or 3 other songs of I
Right.
don't have it. Oh, you
Same
suck, and then
thing.
they'll walk
Same
off.
thing. Someone will walk up to me and go, "Hey man, can you play some Skinner?" Now I know we got a couple Skinner in our back pocket. Now, if my partner looks at them and goes, "Oh yeah, we can do that," I look at them and I punch
Yeah,
it.
you messed
Don't
up
say
the
nothing.
whole because they
No,
know.
man, I don't know. We'll try to help you out, and then boom, we
Let's see
bust
what.
out with Simple Man and it makes their
Yeah,
day.
yeah. Well, we'll see what we could do. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I mean, yo, I love everything that I do. I mean, I can't complain. I
Speaking
can't
of
complain.
comedy, you are a napper. You are a napper. You take 15-minute naps. You're widely known for napping after sex, immediately after sex. And so let's talk about naps, man, because they're
I
important. Because I was like, you're like, what do you mean you're going to be sleeping? I'm like, dude, I might pass out, man. It's like 8 o'clock. I usually put myself down. So tell us about napping and the joy.
I I the thing about napping is I'm a 15-minute napper. So like I'll come in the house super exhausted, and then for that 15 minutes, when I wake up, it feels like it's 8 hours. So sometimes it's like you need that little recharge because as soon as you lay down, get back
So,
up, and then
so
you
do you
gotta.
have like narcolepsy problems where you'll just
Nah,
pass
it's
out
not.
or
No, 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 no,
fall
no.
asleep?
It's not narcolepsy. It's just one of those things like yo, we 40 plus, like you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things like everything you did in your 20s, you still try to be as active like if you were in your 20s, but yo, you need them little naps. Like I said, even after making sweet loving, you gotta take that little 15, get back up, tear it back up a little bit, throw a sandwich on her back. You know what I mean? Man. I know you be throwing a sandwich on her back.
I don't ever throw a sandwich on her back. I've never done that. I've never done that. I love my wife. I don't throw a sandwich.
Yeah, you got a wife. My bad.
But it's okay. She's probably laughing watching this now too. But no, I'll just be like, hey, why don't you go upstairs? I'm going to throw a sandwich on your back. That's a good one. That's a great line. I'm going to throw a sandwich on your back. What the fuck are you talking about? Yo, come on, just get naked. I'm going to throw a sandwich on your back.
Yo, we can make that a song.
It is. I'm going to throw a sandwich on your back. You won a date last night? No, I threw a sandwich on her back. So this is another thing that Sean and I have is we giggle a lot and we make fun of shit. That's where I'm leading to next. What a fucked up world we're living in these days. What's your take on the world? We don't have to get all political or go into unrest or anything, but I'm gonna tell you, you come from a neighborhood that could be kind of nice and for you, but maybe rough to others. And how do you feel about everything going on right now?
Well, this is the thing. When you think of life optimistically, it's always a positive look to everything. Like no matter how negative it is. When you do stand-up comedy, is like you have to take the word. Like once I started talking about getting divorced, because I got divorced maybe like 20 years ago, people start laughing. It's your pain, but it's hilarious. Like imagine you going to change your insurance over, and then you get to the insurance place, but you don't have no plates on your car. You like, wait, she took my plates?
She took my plates.
Like that's crazy. And then like communication is like, yo, let me know what our issues are.
Yep.
Not I'm coming home from work and then the U-Haul is pulling off. Like that's not good communication.
Yeah, no, not at all.
So that's where comedy has to come from, like your darkest, deepest places. But some that do stand up, some of their stuff is just too dark, and it's one of those like. It's sometimes it's weird, but it makes it funny. You ever watch a comedian where you like, yo, this is so like you saw Joker,
the movie.
Yeah, remember he was just laughing on stage.
It was really disturbing, man. That was a fucking disturbing movie, and that actor Joaquin Phoenix, he's that dude is not fucking right. But yeah, but that's the thing though. He gets so into character, even with how skinny he got, and it was just definitely disturbing. But what about him? How his nervous laughter was part of his character.
It's like cinematically the way they shot it. Like remember, like when you shoot video and stuff, and you see how something is shot, it was just shot so perfectly. Like the way they was messing with him, and I think that's where I feel like I kind of identify with a lot of the movie where. He had a job. They broke his sign. He went back to the job and said, yo, they broke my sign. They wanted him to pay for it. And then when he snapped, like they just, you know what I'm saying? I thought that was kind of fire.
Right. I really did not expect him to. I mean, I guess it's not a spoiler. The movie's fucking old. I did not expect him to fucking blow Robert Redford's face off in the end of the movie either. And that really was that was pretty disturbing, man.
But let me tell you this. The thing about it is when you grew up somewhere, like growing up in the Bronx and kind of seeing like the building you was going to move into when he was on the stairs, you kind of feel that, and just going through stuff as a kid or a teen, having to fight this person, fight that person. And like, he just had so much. And then he went to the gate to his pop's crib and he didn't get acknowledged. Like, all of that stuff kind of like when you identify with something, like with poetry and music, people love what they love because of what they can identify with. So it was just certain things about it that I just thought it was kind of dope. So comedy, back to comedy and the way the world is today. With comedy, man, all fucking bets off. Race, religion, skin, sex, it doesn't matter. Throwing sandwiches on backs. With comedy, the way I like it is if someone's just going to fucking go for it. People like George Carlin. When I was a young kid, one of my favorite comedians was Richard Pryor, because that dude was saying some shit that, man, I was like 7 and 8 years old watching him, but the way the world was then,
it was just coming out of the 60s, late 60s
Yeah,
unrest
yeah.
with Martin Luther King and all that. And to be a black comedian and to go
Come
out
out,
there
yeah,
and talk shit the way he did, that's
yeah,
what. And then George Carlin was the same way. Didn't matter what color they were. It's just
yeah.
Greg Giraldo, same way. Come out and just fucking say it. Go for the throat. Throw a sandwich on that bitch's back.
Exactly.
you
Yo,
know?
I was watching actually today I was watching Superman 3 because I wanted to, because remember, for Richard Pryor had been that big to be in
Right.
Superman, for him to be, and it was hilarious from the beginning. Like they was about to cut off his unemployment, and he was like, she was like, "What kind of work did you do?" He said, I was a kitchen technician." She was like, "A dishwasher?"
No,
Yo,
dish transferent engineer. I had a T-shirt that said that.
and
Dish transfer. I was a dishwasher in a restaurant. My uncle
me
made it
too.
for me.
Audubon Pain.
Yeah.
I worked at Audubon Pain. They used to
Fucking
call me the
all.
dish. They used
We
to
were in
call
the
me
trenches. We were doing dishes.
Yeah, that's what I'm. That's what
I
I'm
did.
saying.
I was a dishwasher.
I was
I
listen.
Do you
They
think we're
called
like
me.
famous and rich from the shit that Sean and I do? We're
I
not.
mean,
We're not. We're fucking
exactly.
not. We're still struggling, paying. We're living week to week. That's just the way it is, man.
Hey, they see the bellies and they like, yo, they eating kind of
Damn.
good. They look like they doing all right.
Yeah, we are doing all right. If we eat, I ate healthy tonight, though. I had some nice steamed broccoli. I like buying these bags of broccoli from Market 32 from Mona Golub because I love. We always joke about Mona. I do know her; she's a nice woman.
Yeah,
But
she's
Market
cool.
32 has these nice bags of frozen broccoli. It's not that broccoli like broccoli junk where it's just like stems and stalk. These are nice broccoli florets. And then I buy this blackened salmon because the doctor, I have an Indian doctor, and he says to me every time I leave, I'm like, anything else, doc? And he goes, stop being fat. And that's it. And he goes, eat more fish. So I've been eating a lot of fish.
Eat more fish.
Stop being fat.
Put some more fish sandwiches on her back.
We've been all over the place tonight. This is Sean Reid. I'm Ralph Renna. This is Capital Underground Face to Face. All right, so we talked about you being in a Tupac movie, making $3.85 an hour. Jerry Springer, you used to go to a lot of those shows. So let's back up even more. Let's go back to New York City. And when you were a teenager, you were, I guess the year was 1999, and you were putting on these
99, I was
local showcases. Now tell us about that and how it kind of, got you more involved in the hip hop scene.
The thing about in 99, what was kind of dope was what I started DJing in 92. So by 97, by 99, I had a son and I had a daughter. So it was one of those things where I invested so much money into vinyl that I had to like start to make money from it. So I started throwing local showcases, and like two of my boys helped me start throwing shows down there.
Yeah.
And what was so dope was I did about 14 showcases between 99 to 2000 because I moved here in 01.
Right.
And rest in peace to Fred the Godson. He was an artist I used to work with.
He's a mentor of yours, you were saying earlier?
Nah, he was an artist I used to produce for.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So like I was kind of his mentor before, kind of early on in.
Shout out to Rob Smiddix from Radio X. Cool dude. What up, Sean? I see the comment there. People are starting to comment, so our friends are watching. What's up, Rob?
What up, Rob? I actually want to do something with Rob soon. I was having a talk with my boy Simon. I didn't talk to Rob.
He's an interesting dude, man. Hip hop and rock songs, punk songs. He's all over the place, and that's kind of how we are. We just don't know what we're just creative, I guess.
I have features in my head that I didn't even tell the person about, but it's just, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So Immortal Technique, he was an artist that he's big on like more of like the modern Chuck D of like the last like 20 years. My man Ambassador Rick from Virginia, like a lot of art. So basically I got a chance to work with about 200 artists in these 14 shows, but then my son's mom had brung my son up here. And then, that was, the whole love thing. And I ended up just
wanted to be closer to your kid. Yeah.
So I came up here before he hit 2. He's like 23 now, but
right.
He was about to be 2. So, I gave marriage a shot, and
Mhm.
I missed the basket horribly, but
So you're only married once?
yeah, I'll never do that again.
Okay.
Never,
Okay. Well,
never. I'll put some sandwiches on backs, but I ain't marrying nobody.
wow. Good luck with the ladies. It must be amazing, but with the how you are. What I like about you also, what I like about you too is you're honest. You're semi. I guess semi. I wake up and I know that I'm gonna see some type of motivational Sean Reid post on Facebook. I'm in the morning. You're known for it. All right. Is it an
Okay.
everyday
I
thing
try
for
to
you?
be every day.
Or it's something pretty comedic, or you just come out of the left field and you're just like, wham.
Yeah, you have to be. It's one of those things like you don't really want to waste people's time. It's one of those things to be negative. Like it takes so much out of you to be mad at somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
the other
anger's not a good place to be.
like the other day I saw an ex and like yo, some women I used to date be want to slap the smile off my face. It's
Really?
it's kind of it's kind of hilarious. It's kind of hilarious.
So since you've been divorced for 26 years now, right?
20 something, I don't remember, 15,
Well, you said
20,
you're 46. 26 minus 46 is 20. That's 20 years old. I think my math.
Oh, yeah, your math is crazy.
Oh,
01 to 02, and then legally it was like over in like 08 or something like
right.
that.
But you guys are still friends, right?
Nah. Me and my daughter's mother is cool, but not my ex-wife. Nah.
Speak the truth. So how many children do you have?
Okay. I think it's like 7, but 2 biologically, because
All right.
I like
I'll be
my
back.
stepkids. He stopped because of so yeah, I'm the father of 2 biologically, but I've raised a bunch of other kids also, like from previous relationships.
Yeah, and even if you weren't in a relationship, that'll lead me to my next thing is that you definitely get involved with kids in the community,
Mhm.
kids that just maybe might have a dream like you had to be an actor, a DJ, a comedian, whatever it was when you were younger, and to keep
Yeah.
them out of trouble, you've been kind of like a mentor to these kids. Now, we talked about the Bronx, but for the past 20, 30 years, you've been here in Schenectady. So there's our map. So I guess there's our map. You like how I brought the maps in, right? The maps.
Yeah.
Here's where he grew up. He grew up in down here in the little boot down there area, right? So
Yeah.
right, the Bronx and Harlem. But now we're in Schenectady, and Schenectady is surrounded by Glenville and Rotterdam and Dwaynesburg and Niskayuna, all these nice places. You get into Schenectady, man, let's face it. I'm from Troy, Albany, Schenectady. There's beautiful, beautiful countrysides, beautiful suburbias, but there's a lot of rough neighborhoods in there. And I think you've been getting in there and trying to pull these kids out and trying to help them see the light a little bit. Tell us a little bit about how you're a mentor, man. A lot of kids look up to you.
It's what's funny, adults too. Like it's one of those things. Like I worked in the school system for 6 years, and when you kind of do things your own kind of way, it's kind of frowned upon because they want you to kind of follow suit. They don't want you to have too much control or too much power amongst your area. It's a weird thing. But like I said, I feel like I've made some change where I could. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm still kind of connected in the school system because I still DJ parties at schools. A lot of the kids that were my students in elementary school are now in high school and college. So the fact that I'm still there, I still get the chance to see a lot of the kids and help out where I can. You know what I'm saying? I do as much as I can, but the older you get, you can't do as much as people expect you to do or want you to do. You know what I'm saying?
Jerry Springer, New York City, local showcases. The dude takes naps at a moment's notice. Tupac, Above the Rim, he was an extra that actually the camera stayed on for probably more than 3 seconds. In a commercial with Boys to Men, comedy, community leader. helping kids stay off drugs.
Yeah.
And in 2017, we're going to go forward again.
Yo.
You end up in the fucking Poconos. Tell us
Yep.
about this. And this has got to be, this is like I did not know this until you brought it up to me. I said, save it for later.
Okay. Yo, but you know it's mad funny. Some of these titles is like childhood act that helps keep kids off drugs. Like,
That's
what?
right. That's
That
right.
sounds mad crazy.
It's cool though.
Nah,
it's cool though. He was on Jerry Springer. When he was in, he made $3.85 shit pay to be in a Tupac movie, but he stayed all day. Sean Reid. You can run for office, dude. This is I'm your campaign.
Yo, so all right, so what happened? The story of the Kane thing, what's so fly about that is it's one of those things like you want to always dream big, but some things that happen in your career of you doing what you do, you don't know what's gonna happen. So what happened was when I started really going hard with comedy in 2016, a year to the date, because I was doing comedy way before that, but I wasn't as consistent. A year to the date, I had got an event in the Poconos. Shout out to Domingo. He's one of the top Latin producers in hip hop. He's produced for Fat Joe, Big Pun, worked with KRS-One, worked with a little bit of everybody. He's been around for 20 plus years, but he actually wanted me to host the event. And it's one of those things like it was on my bucket list to meet him. And the fact that, you know, he seemed like the work that I put in and all that. He saw all the work that I've been putting in. So he was like, yo, do you want to do the show? So the very first comedy video that I put up on YouTube was basically a sampler to give to him to show him for me to get that show. So that was kind of dope.
So it was like an audition to go to the Poconos?
Yeah, it was the reason why it's like 15 minutes long, and it has clips from a music video I did where the girl slaps me, and then at the end of it, I went with my boy to a boxing match, and I went to this hotel room, and all these Mexican boxes. I just walked in the room, and it just showed you my personality. That pure strangers that don't speak English, I can go in a room and have everybody rolling. You know what I'm saying? So it just to show some of the personality. But the fly thing to me, what was an ill moment was this day to me was something that I would have dreamt about. But the fact the excitement to me was telling my students about it the next week. So that was the thing. It's like, you know, sometimes you're like, yo, I dream of being a big rapper or whatever. Now that I'm on the stage with these legends that I
we didn't get there. We didn't even say it. You're now 2017. You're in the Poconos, and you're hosting an event, or
hosting
for Big Daddy Kane
and versus Cool G Rap.
Versus Cool G Rap. Now, what does that mean? Was it an arm wrestling match? Was it a battle? MC battle?
It was a song for song battle. So before
two old school guys.
So before they had versus the Swiss Beats and they actually were doing a couple of shows because they have. Like, remember, Kane is more for the ladies, Cool G Rap is more for the street, and they're part of the same crew, and they have such legendary reputations that. And the crazy part to me was he told me that people were going crazy about the comedian. It was like, yo, they didn't expect it to be funny. They expected just to see Kane and G Rap, but there's like, yo, the comedian was cracking on the whole crowd. I didn't have no material because I write, but by the time you get on stage, you just be talking crazy and
just talk shit. And if they go with it, and if they don't go with it, get off and introduce the act, right?
And put a sandwich on her back, baby.
That's your new saying, man. I don't know if women out there can take it anymore. I know there's so many. I mean, with women's rights and abortion and all this and Reid versus, and then you're coming out going, I threw a sandwich on her back.
Sandwich on the back. Sandwich.
The show hasn't been canceled yet. It just may be. So please share it now so people check it out. If you have any comments for Sean Reid, just drop them in the comments. So we're going to go fast forward a little bit. So you sent me that track with your collaboration with Flip with Depressed Unmotivated Floozies. We opened the show with it, so when the broadcast is over you can listen to it. But I said to you with the track Let's Do It, I said to you, I'm like, man, you are like, you were like a motivational speaker over hip hop
let it out.
music. Yeah,
This
let
is
it
my
out,
joint
man.
right here.
We're gonna play a little bit.
Person you can thank for that.
Shout to my man Steady Pace on the beat.
That's right. Throw a sandwich on her back in
Now
Schenectady.
last night before you went to sleep,
Sandwich on the back. Sandwich on the back.
you had all the
on the back.
stress on your mind. So breathe in, breathe out, let the negative energy out. Breathe in, breathe out, let that negative energy out. Breathe in, breathe out, let that negative energy out. Breathe in, breathe out, let the negative energy out. Breathe in, breathe out, let that negative energy out. Breathe in, breathe out, let that negative energy out. You know when you first get to work and you got that one coworker that just gets at the bottom of your skin, and no matter what the day is, she causes you or he causes you nothing but stress. And all you want to do is just go to work and mind your business. Do what you
Mind your
gotta
business.
do.
Dude, naps. When do you fucking sleep? You're making
Yo.
like, so that's a track we
The-
featured on Capital Underground a few times, as well as the depressed, unmotivated floozies and many other Sean Reid things. So when do you sleep, man? When do you sleep?
I sleep. Remember, we more or less like weekend warriors. So like a lot of our work is more or less during the week. During the weekend. So kind of the week, depending on what's going on, I kind of get to do just different stuff. I just did a new T-shirt design called "Beautiful Disaster," where a friend of mine was modeling she was actually modeling this shirt right here. And I was telling her about the female shirt that I wanted to do also.
So those shirts are for sale right now. And how do people get one of those DJ 250 shirts?
All they got to do is just hit me up through Facebook.
That's it, man. Facebook is like your main channel, right?
Everything.
You don't want people having your number except me.
No, it's fine. I mean, they contacting you anyway.
Right. Same thing.
370-1948.
Right.
Remember, 370 used to be a house phone in 01.
Right.
So I got it switched over to a cell phone number. So 518-370-1948.
Oh shit, he just put his number out there.
Yo, people are contacting you the same. It's all the same.
It
stuff.
don't matter. The only thing to putting your number out there is the spam with the emails and all that. And I'm sure
it says scam likely. So it's like,
Right.
Not a big deal.
So you can hook up and get one of those new T-shirts, and then also the DVD, the Comedian, the best of the stuff. You're going to be selling that too as well, and you sell those at all your events, unless it's like a private party or a wedding or anything like that.
Well, the thing is, the thing with merchandise, I usually do my shirts by order because I don't order a bunch of shirts just to have them sitting around, because a lot of the times the person that you see probably can't fit the shirt, so it's one of those things like it's the shirt is by order, so I do it that way. One by one.
Okay. What did we miss, man? Did we miss anything? I don't know. We've been here for a while. We can keep going though. I mean, it's okay. We got people hanging in here with us. If you're on YouTube, please spread the word, and if you're on, and hit the subscribe button so you know when we come on live again. New York City local showcases. He was in a Tupac movie for $3.85 an hour. Car trouble and women trouble. That's what we didn't touch down on. So I think maybe we should start with: is there some type of relevance to car trouble and women? Are they the same? I mean,
it's the same. No matter how much you pump, no matter how much you pump, no matter how much money you pump into a car or a woman, it's still gonna give you problems. Like it's something is not gonna be right. You could get a new transmission, but then the brake's gonna start acting up.
She wants a boob job.
You can't afford. Yo, you can't. Yeah. Let me just throw the sandwich on the back and we'll be fine. Everything will be fine.
Wow. I think we covered it all, man.
Your wife is gonna be like, yo, shit. you really want to put a sandwich there? Like, well, I do be getting kind of hungry back there.
We're gonna have who's that guy with the sandwich? We're gonna have him over for dinner, guys. I think we covered everything, though. Thanks for coming on tonight, last minute. I appreciate it. Any last words to anyone out there who just learned of DJ 2?
The one thing I want to say is that finding a positive in everything is one of those things where you could find 1,000 negatives of things. You could find 1,000 negatives. And also what's the name said this? Kevin Smith, what Kevin Smith said, he said, be around people that say why not opposed to why. Like if like all the stuff that you've accomplished in your life, if somebody would have told you, why you want to do your own radio? Why you want to do radio? Why you want to perform?
Why not?
Why not? Because it's like, why not? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we're both living examples of what trying to do what you want to do and succeeding at it. Everybody's not going to succeed at what they want, but
no one's going to do anything for you. No one's going to do anything for you. So DIY. And like I said, it's the same in the punk rock scene as it is in the hip hop scene. No one's going to help you. Fucking do it yourself. And that's what we're doing tonight. We're doing it ourselves. Still, after all these years, 30 years strong, both of us. Man, this was fun. Can I
give Ralph his flowers? Ralph is the greatest.
Can I go home
he did so much for dogs.
Oh man, thanks to That Fuzz and Rock Show for letting us use the stream. Capital Underground face to face with DJ 250, Sean Reid. We're gonna leave you with some music. I think people like when we dance.
Breathe in, breathe out. Let that negative energy.
Big shout to my man Steady Peace on this one.
I don't dance. Please don't look at this. Sean Reid's teaching me how to dance.
Let that negative energy out.
Yo, I gotta see you do the worm the next time I see you.
Stop putting energy into these dead batteries. If you keep your wires hooked up to a dead battery, all it's gonna do is keep draining you. So what I want y'all to do is do your best to stay in positive spirits. I like to give a shout out to the legendary Steady Pace on the track.